In last week's article, The Gambler Part 1, I wrote about buying a home in a seller's market. My advice to buyers was to take a lesson from Kenny Rogers, know when to hold 'em, fold 'em, walk away, and run. Buyers and their agents tend to make mistakes when they get caught up in the competition of multiple offers, which generally doesn't end well. And the data backs this up a lot with unsatisfied new homeowners from 2020, 2021, and 2022. But if you are a seller in this market, the ball is completely in your court, right? Not necessarily. Although a strong seller's market, like we have shaping up again this summer, is certainly advantageous to sellers, it is not an automatic home run. There are some important factors for sellers in 2023 to keep in mind. It's not June of 2022. I'm going to put this bluntly. June of 2022 was the peak of madness. While motivated buyers correctly fearing that the low interest rates were soon to be a thing of the past, competition for homes hit an all-time high. Consequently, the median prices hit an all-time high at an insanely rapid pace. Combined with general price inflation all across the commercial sectors of the economy, this is more or less what prompted the Fed to raise those rates to calm buyer demand, tame inflation, and stop a potential housing bubble from bursting. Despite some recent missteps by the Fed, they appear to have accomplished that. Prices have cooled considerably since June of 2022, entering into a period of decline beginning in July of 2022 and continuing until the end of that year. Median home prices in March of this year still exceeded March of 2022, which is obviously great news. Although it's still too early to predict numbers for April, my hunch is that April 2023 will also exceed those numbers from April 2022. It's May, however, that the year-to-year numbers could actually fall temporarily. Although I have almost no doubt that the month-to-month increases we have seen so far into 2023 will continue, it is unlikely that they will increase at a rate to match last summer. And honestly, for the good of the economy at large, this isn't a bad thing. The reality is that June 2022 did mark that the housing market had become a bit of a bubble. But fortunately for all of us, that bubble did not burst like it did in 2007. It was more of an intentional release of air. Oh, and please don't compare 2007 to 2022 or 2023. The situations are almost entirely different. Read my blog, A Wild Market Ride, from a couple weeks ago for more on that. So what does this mean for sellers? No, it's not June of 2022, but it's still a great time to be a seller. First, there are plenty of buyers out there. Some are baby boomers who are fairly unconcerned about interest rates because they are cashing out that equity built from their existing home. It's a pretty sweet place to be right now. Other buyers are first-time buyers who weren't quite ready to purchase when rates were so great in the last few years. They've been holding out for rates to come down a bit, or they have been finding some appealing buy-down deals by lenders. And of course, there are always buyers who are just moving up, moving down, relocating, all those types of things. Second, mortgage rates are ticking back down to manageable levels. For comparison's sake, we are about at the level we were back in 2002, not exactly a time known for historically high rates. Of course, most buyers and lenders still want to see those rates come down a little further, but we appear to be past the worst of it, mortgage rate wise anyway. This is only encouraging more buyers to enter into the market, especially first-time buyers and other buyers by choice. So yes, we are again in a seller's market. I'm not going to tell you that buyer demand is what it was last year. Again, this is not June of 2022, but there are still more buyers than there are sellers. Right now, there are a historically low number of homes on the market. In fact, this is really the only significant issue that we have in the market right now. So unlike the seller's market of 2020, 21, 22, which was caused by massive buyer demand, caused by low mortgage rates, this seller's market is really due to a normal level of buyers chasing an abnormally low number of available homes. So if you are thinking about selling, you don't have that much competition. This is great news for sellers. This seller's market is different. If you aren't entirely familiar with the seller's market scenario, let me quickly explain what it means. First, because more buyers are out there than sellers, home sellers have some additional power in the market. Home sellers are essentially in possession of a scarce but desired good. Think Beanie Babies back in the 1990s. So they can generally get a higher price and even choose from multiple buyers or bidders. This also means that even if you have a home that needs some updates or minor fixes, your home should sell much more quickly and easily and with fewer concessions to buyers than it would otherwise. But before you think that your 1952 brick ranch with the original kitchen cabinets and pink toilet is going to fetch you $300,000, slow down just a second. To return to my gambler reference, for sellers, the thing to keep in mind, don't overplay your hand. If you are thinking about selling your home, keep these items in mind. 1. Your home needs to be priced right. Yes, it's a seller's market. Yes, choices for buyers are somewhat lacking at certain price points. But no, they generally aren't buying homes at price points excessively beyond the market price. This happened at times over the past few years, but due to higher mortgage rates, buyers aren't quite as quick to raise their budgets. As a result, sellers must be willing to look at what comparable homes have been selling for over the past 3 to 6 months. In other words, don't compare your home to your neighbor's home that sold in June or July of 2022. Theirs might be inflated. It doesn't mean you won't get a great price for your home. It just means the price needs to fit for today. All sellers want as much for their home as possible, but possible is the key word here. Now, keep in mind, sellers are getting great sales prices for their homes. In general, we are seeing an average sale price of 98% or more of list price across central Indiana. Historically, that is a fantastic average and great news for sellers. It's just the 100% plus average that was seen last summer that is gone. And remember, a 98% average means some sellers are still getting more than list price, but others, of course, less. And those that are getting less are clearly overpriced to begin with. Contact me if you are interested in having a free comparative market analysis, or CMA, done for your home. A CMA uses official appraisal methods to determine an approximate price for your home should you sell it. Note, please do not rely on a certain online real estate company for their automatic appraisals. They are very unreliable. They use incorrect or outdated data and often give a false sense of value. Number 2, not all areas are quite the same. This is pretty much always true in real estate, always has been. Location, 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 right? And it's no different today. There are some communities where homes are gone within a few days. Other areas might see the same home sit for weeks or more. Although that home is probably priced wrong for that area if it sits for weeks. Again, a CMA and consultation from a qualified real estate agent can give you some insight about how your home stacks up for the area and what you can realistically expect. 3, marketing matters. One might think that in a seller's market, not much marketing is required. That might be true in some cases. In a particular location, price range, style where supply is especially low and demand is especially high, simply listing the home on the multiple listing service, or MLS, might be enough. But this is risky. Most prospective buyers still use the internet as their first home search tool. This means that homes listed with poor photography, descriptions, and visibility can be cast aside. If you want buzz around your home, that often needs to be created. And if marketing isn't done correctly and your home sits on the market for too long, buyers and their agents will start to wonder what's wrong with it. That perception can be a tough hurdle to get over once it's formed. 4, condition and presentation equals value. Smart buyers are generally going to be picky about the home's condition, even in a seller's market. Unless you are a builder, all of the homes being sold have been lived in. So it is understood by most reasonable people that there are going to be some scratched baseboards, scuffed paint, and outdated fixtures. But even those small superficial things start to add up in a buyer's mind. They start to figure out how much it's going to cost them to fix, update, and replace, which will either bring down the value of your home or eliminate it from consideration altogether, as buyers may also wonder what else is wrong with the home. This doesn't mean you need to go and replace your flooring and renovate your kitchen and bathrooms. Rarely do you get full value back on those things, no matter what you see on HGTV. Plus, some buyers do prefer to do that themselves. But you should, A, be prepared to make some concessions to buyers for repairs and upgrades, and B, make small fixes where you can. A good real estate agent can help you determine the types of repairs that will best help the resale value of your home. 5, trying to sell your own home will generally cost you more time and money than hiring a professional agent. I'm a real estate agent, so of course I'm going to say this, right? Right. Look, I know we all want to save money where we can, and agent commissions seem like a lot when the average person doesn't see what goes on behind the scenes. But the commission for a good agent is totally worth it, and the data backs me up on this. Even during the hot 2021 market, homes sold by their owners earned an average of $105,000 less than those sold by agents. Additionally, many went unsold or sat on the market much longer than the competition. Plus, there are so many legal risks to selling your own home. Just comparing the length of new sales contracts to the old ones kind of proves my point. If you do try, I suggest at least hiring a real estate attorney to help you with the contracts, but that's still going to cost you some change. 6. Read my seller's guide and follow me on Facebook or Instagram or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more helpful information about the home selling process. I can't tell you if now is the right time to sell your home. Home inventory right now is low because people are staying in homes longer than they did a decade or two ago. Choosing to move is a big decision with a lot of personal factors to consider. But I can tell you that now is a great time if you are ready. Values are high, buyers are waiting, and as a seller, you hold a lot of cards. Just make sure you have an agent that can help you know which ones to play.